All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are now going to go through the Christmas games on Monday. We'll talk about that. Well, we'll talk about them, and I'll give you my thoughts on those and my picks. And yeah, that'll be it. So the first game that gets us started is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Chiefs are 10-point favorites. The over-under is 41. The Chiefs, 5th in passing yards per game, 19th in rushing yards per game, 10th in points per game. Raiders are 22nd in passing yards per game, 32nd in rushing, which, again, hard to believe when you got Josh Jacobs, and then 24th in points per game. Then on the defensive side of the ball, both teams are actually top 10 against the pass. Chiefs' defense is 5th. Raiders is 10th. Rushing against the run, the Chiefs are 14th. Raiders are 23rd. And then points allowed, the Chiefs are 3rd. And the Raiders are 9th. So top 10 in points allowed. So yeah, I mean the Raiders' defense has improved, but I don't know. For me, for this game, I just think the Chiefs. I think they win by multiple scores. Now, how the Raiders can keep this close? I mean, if Josh Jacobs is back, got to run the football. Keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. And look, the Chiefs haven't been great, of course, on offense. I mean, they have their issues. I mean, we saw more of it last week with Kadarius Toney, again, not being able to hold on to a pass that gets, hit up in the air and then gets intercepted. But I think with the Chiefs at home, I think they should be able to beat the Raiders by more than 10. You got both you got both teams from last year's Super Bowl playing, and then you got maybe a Super Bowl preview. But I see that there's, because I'm looking on CBS, there's snow in the forecast. So we'll see. But I kind of need Josh Jacobs and Isaiah Pacheco, who will be making his return to the game. I kind of need them to not do good, because Kamara didn't do good last night. So I kind of need them to, take it down a notch. But the last time they played each other, Pacheco had like 20 and Jacobs had 20, and I'm going against both of them this week. So, yeah, not looking good again in that league. I do have Harrison Butker, so maybe Harrison Butker kicks 6 field goals and the Chiefs cover. That would be nice. But yeah, I just look. The Raiders are coming off of that 63-21 performance against the Chargers, but now they're going up against a much better defense, a much better quarterback. Again, the weapons, I get it. The wide receiver, at least. Obviously you got Travis Kelce and Pacheco's coming back. Edwards-Helaire was making plays. That touchdown reception he had was nice. Pacheco's back. McKinnon, of course, scoring another touchdown. It's the receivers. That's what the problem is. Well, except Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice has been producing. So, but yeah, I got the Chiefs winning and covering the 10. So then we go into the second game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. Right now, the Eagles are 13.5-point favorites. The line jumped from 10.5 to 13.5. The Giants have not won in Philadelphia since 2013, and I talked about this. The last time they won was 2013. Eli Manning was obviously the quarterback, and the quarterback for the Eagles. Michael Vick played in the game, but he also had Matt Barkley, who was the quarterback. Now you got Tommy DeVito, backup quarterback for the Giants, playing in this game. Eagles obviously coming off of that tough loss against the Seahawks, now losing 3 in a row. The Giants, the Tommy Cutlets, they lost 24-6 to the Saints. Listen, I really don't expect the Giants to be that competitive in this game, even though the Eagles' defense hasn't been playing well. You would think this is a good spot for their offense to, maybe put up some points because of how the Eagles' defense has been playing. But again, it's a division rival. Eagles know how to play against the Giants. I just think the Giants are going to struggle to put up points, and I got Saquon Barkley this week, and I'm hoping that he puts up maybe double-digit points, puts in a respectable performance, because by the time this game starts, I'm going to have a good idea of where I'm going to finish. in my matchups. Because in my redraft league, my friend has 5 people playing on Christmas: Pacheco, Jacobs, Mahomes, and Debo Samuel, and Jake Elliott. So by the time we get to this game, I'll know, well, I got no shot. I'm done. Which is kind of trending that way, especially after what Kamara did last night. But yeah, with this game, I mean, the Eagles have a good run defense. I mean, listen, Kenneth Walker had a nice rushing touchdown against them. So maybe Barkley, can get things going, hopefully. Maybe the Giants' offensive line can give him some holes to run through, because he really struggled, to get things going against the Saints. The Giants just couldn't get anything going. Tommy DeVito's getting sacked all over the place. And if he gets a late hit, can the refs please call a flag and not pick it up? I mean, I don't understand what that was all about. They throw the flag in the Saints game, and then they just pick it up. Guys getting no protection out here. And then the week before that against the Packers, they didn't call it. So, but yeah, I got the Eagles winning and covering though. I don't think this is gonna be much of a game. Especially because how the Giants play in Philly, and now you got a backup quarterback. So, and they struggled to really do anything on offense last week. But who knows? Then we got the game of the week right here to finish off this slate. You got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Game of the year, possibly. Ravens are at 11-3. Niners are at 11-3. Both have the best records in their respective conferences. Ravens coming off of that 23-7 win over the Jags, and the Niners coming off of that 45-29 win over the Cardinals. Niners at home for this game. Unfortunately for the Ravens, we talked about this earlier in the week, but Keaton Mitchell, is going to be out for the rest of the season with the ACL tear. And he was running the football effectively for them. So now it's really going to be up to Gus Edwards, Justice Hill. They actually promoted Melvin Gordon to the active roster, so he's going to be playing on Monday as well. This is going to be a tough game. The Niners are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 47. Again, this is going off of CBS. I took the Ravens with the points in this game. I think that this game is going to be close. I think it's going to be first of all, I'm hoping it's a good game, but I feel like I always say that with these kinds of games. But I feel like the Ravens can keep this close. The Niners are rolling right now. They are they are dominating teams left and right. The Eagles and the Cardinals. They're killing teams. Obviously playing Seattle twice in 3 weeks. They dominated them in both of those games. I think the Niners still win because I think they're the better team. But I like the Ravens to cover the number here. But again, this is a true test for both of these teams. Because the other thing is too, a lot of people are like, well, can anybody beat the Niners? Yes, the Niners got beat earlier in the season, but now with how the Niners are rolling with everybody healthy, like, can a team, against a healthy 49ers squad, can they be beat? And the Ravens, I think they could be one of those teams that can. This could be a Super Bowl preview. And it's weird because if you look at the Super Bowl logo for this year, it's literally their colors. And last 2 Super Bowls were the colors of the teams that ended up making it, which is weird. So maybe it's set up for that. I don't know. Lamar Jackson playing good football as of late. He's getting himself involved in the MVP conversation. And then you also look on the other side, you got 2 MVP candidates with Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. Well, Brock Purdy right now is the favorite, but I think it should be Christian McCaffrey. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But I think it'll be close. I think this game is going to be... I actually might take the under in this game. I'm going to say the final score is going to be... I'm going to say 24-20. I think, is the final score. I think it's within the number. I think the under just hits. But who knows? I mean, listen, if the 49ers, move the ball against the Ravens well, then it's going to be tough. But you know what? Listen, they give Lamar Jackson time. And the Niners in the past, they've struggled with mobile QBs. And Lamar Jackson is mobile. So, you got to get some of your receivers going because, I mean, Zay Flowers and OBJ, I mean, they did nothing last week. You were throwing to Rashad Bateman, and Isaiah Likely had a good game. He had a touchdown. It's going to be tough running the ball against the Niners. Obviously, we'll look at the comparisons between the two teams, the league rankings. So, Niners are third in passing yards per game. Ravens are 21st. Ravens are the number one team in rushing yards per game in the NFL. The Niners are third. And then they're top 5 in points per game. Niners are third. Ravens are fourth. Then on the defensive side of the ball, the Ravens are 8th against the pass. The Niners are 16th. Both teams are top 10 against the run per game, rushing yards per game. Niners are third. Eagles are 10th. And then points allowed, they're top 2. Ravens are first, and the Niners are second. So we'll see. We'll see. I guess I would take the under. But I'm excited. That's a great way to end the night. Is having those two teams play, because the first two games are, not very good. Not very good. I don't expect those games to be that good. I think we're going to see more of what we saw on Thanksgiving, blowouts. That's what we're going to see. But not this final game. I think this final game is going to be close. You got a relatively healthy Ravens squad. They're missing some pieces on offense, but they still got their quarterback. I think they'll be able to keep it close. And because, we saw earlier in the season, if the Niners don't get pressure, we saw Kirk Cousins, carve him up. We saw Joe Burrow carve him up. And obviously you probably say they're better passers than Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson can make plays in many ways, and he can make them with his legs. And Niners are a team that they've struggled with mobile QBs, so we'll see what happens. But so for those 3 games, Chiefs covering against the Raiders, Eagles covering against the Giants, and then the Ravens. I'm taking them with the points to cover against the Niners, but I still think the Niners win. So Chiefs, Eagles, and Niners I think all win, but I got the Ravens covering. But that's pretty much it with the show for today. If you guys tuned in for both shows, I really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the holidays. Spend some time with your family and friends. It's the best time of the year, of course. Once again, there'll be no show on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. So we'll recap all the games, of course, how I did. And, you'll probably, might be a post-mortem depending on what happens with my fantasy teams this week. So hopefully I win in both leagues. I get myself to a championship. Well, to the championship game, so I at least have a shot. And then I'll make sure to get the shows up on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, I'll be reposting the shows into the 4 segments throughout the day. Look out for the shorts, of course, that'll come out as well. But, that's pretty much it. So, with that is all the time that we have for today. I thank you guys for tuning in for both shows. And as always, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the games. And happy holidays. Take care.